Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. We are getting an early start on Lake Chickamauga in Tennessee today. We were down on Gunnersville, just moved up the Tennessee River up to Chickamauga. This is actually our third day here. It's been a really interesting lake to break down. We're gonna get more into that, but we're going out this morning to pursue the shad spawn. We're gonna throw topwater, glide bait, spinnerbait, swim jigs. Come along, should be a good morning. There's one. Good morning shad spawn fish right there. I'm throwing the swim jig because I'm in and around all the cypress. It's really easy to get snagged up. The swim jig, 3/8 ounce California swim jig with a 3.8 Keitech, skips up in there really well and comes out clean. Nice chunky fish. We'll take it. Place is crazy. They eat everything that we throw. Oh, got him. Big one. Oh, now we're talking. That's a Chickamauga bass right there. Yes. Yes. Oh. She ate that spinnerbait 4 times. What were you doing? Yes. For this fish to make sense, how excited I am, we've got to back up a couple of days. Let me walk you through this. So 2 days ago, we arrived here on Chickamauga. We showed up in the mid to late afternoon. We decided to get a couple quick hours in. This time of year, these fisheries are in transition. What that means, you're leaving the spring patterns, going into the summer patterns. So you're probably still gonna have spawners, but less than you had before. You're probably going to have offshore fish, but not as many as you're going to have. right in that transition. It's a difficult time to pattern fish. And as you guys know, I like to run patterns. That's my favorite way to fish. So we get out here, pull up on our first spot. It's a mid-depth offshore spot, and the fish just start biting. Check this out.
There's one. Got him. Right on top.
First bass on Lake Chickamauga.
There's one.
Eating it just like he's supposed to, right down the center.
There's one.
Nice one.
Another one. Big sore on it. Oh, they almost didn't make it. Oh.
Ooh, he got bigger. Great fish.
Yay!
Great job.
Chickamauga bass.
After we catch a bunch of these mid-depth fish, we're thinking, okay, these are good fish, but these aren't monster fish. These aren't the fish that Chickamauga is famous for. Obviously, we need to move. So we decide to go offshore, and we start graphing. And we're graphing anywhere from 15 to 35 feet of water. And we're looking and looking and looking, and we finally pull up on a school of fish. And it starts to go like this. Thanks, Sierra.
Great mom.
Now after that, we get off the water, we get a chance to talk to a couple of different local fishermen. And these guys are talking about catching them dirt shallow. And that's when it really starts clicking, man. These fish are more in the transition than we even realized. We gotta try shallow, because we tried mid-depth, we caught quality, we caught numbers, but we didn't catch monsters. We go deep, we're catching good ones again, but not the ones that we drove all the way here for. All right, let's try shallow. So the next morning we get up, we run 25 miles north, thinking that we'll start up there and we'll just work our way down the river all the way back. Sierra, our 2-year-old, is the one who finds the pattern.
Sierra, reel it in. She really does have one. Sierra, reel him in. You did it all on your own.
Reel, baby, reel.
Come on, get him, honey, get him. Let's see what you got.
Keep going, Sierra.
Reel him in, Sierra. Let's see what you got.
Bring him over.
Bring him over to Daddy. Bring him over to Dad.
You got him.
You did it. You did it.
Good job, honey. First off, that's awesome. But second, now it's a senko bite. I was not looking for a senko bite, but it is what it is. Let's try it. So we start throwing a senko and a swim jig up in that shallow stuff. We got him, Sierra. Look.
Ah, it's a puppy.
You guys may have noticed as we've driven all over the country that we've power fished the entire time. It's not that there's not a slow fishing bite or a worm bite or a finesse bite. It's that we prefer to power fish. And most of the time you can force your hand and get on a good power fishing bite. But since Sierra caught a random senko fish today, we thought we'd try it. Maybe she was onto something. We are getting bit. I can't say that we've had any big bites, but we are getting bit. We're gonna try a little bit longer before we go back to power fishing. It's that same 3/8 ounce California swim jig, a 4.3 Keitech. Just going up along shallow cover here, plucking them off. There. We wrap up day 2, catch a nice fish again. I actually break off a really good one right at the end because I was being lazy and not retying. But that brings us all the way to right now, morning of day 3, and this is our last day here. I knew the only thing that was left was the shad spawn, and we hadn't gotten up early enough to do it before. See, the shad spawn, you've got shallow fish, you've got mid-depth fish, you got deep fish. Well, in the morning, the shad get up. Your mid-depth fish and your shallow fish, they're gonna ambush them. It's just the way it is. So I knew that there were big fish in those schools. We just hadn't interacted with them. And my guess was that it was the wrong time of day. So here we are this morning, pulled up on a really likely spot, wind blowing in. So I've got an island here and an island here. We're still on the same spot. Right here in between is only 2 to 3 feet deep. And as I throw the bait up there, I can see shad jumping and splashing to get out of the way. Start firing up there, start catching fish. That big one eats. And that was the confirmation that I needed. We don't need to catch every big fish in a lake, but I hate to leave a lake where I feel like we didn't figure out the big ones. We have been very blessed on this entire trip coming across the country to catch good ones. Just everywhere we went, we got a shot at a good fish. So to land out here where we had 3 days and to not get a good one was driving me crazy. But now I don't care if we catch no more fish or 100 more fish, just to know that we ran the pattern and we followed through and it worked makes all the difference to me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Of course, we'll link all the gear down in the video description. We were throwing some really specific baits, but this is an awesome fishery. If you guys ever get the chance to come out to Tennessee, definitely fish Chickamauga. Definitely drop down below, head down, go to Gunnersville also. Both of these fisheries were just a riot. I mean, here I am talking about struggling to get the right bite, but we were not struggling to get a bite. You could go down the bank with a senko and catch them. You could go offshore with a crankbait and catch them. You could get in the middle, throw a spinnerbait, a lipless, anything you wanted, a swim jig, and catch them. This place is awesome. I had a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along. We're gonna keep this trip right on going. We've got a couple more stops, then we're gonna meet up with Tim and his family, and I'll just tell you where we're headed. We're going to Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's gonna be fun.